For us, it needs to go towards social housing, so towards nonprofit, public housing, or nonprofit organizations.
The federal government announced $59 million in funding for affordable housing construction and repairs for the Greater Montreal area and for several Indigenous communities across Quebec on Tuesday. The funding will support the construction of 672 new homes and the repairs of over 1,200 homes for low and middle income households, as well as vulnerable populations.
We do have to provide, to increase the supply of apartments all across the country for all the population, but we have to pay special attention to those who don't have the means to afford these new apartments that we see in the market.
It's an announcement just to underline the fact that the federal government is significantly investing in social housing projects.
One of the projects being funded is Place Griffintown that will provide 54 affordable rental units for residents in Griffintown.
It's only for people who are tenants, so they cannot afford purchasing units, and 80% of the units will also benefit of a subsidy, a rent subsidy.
Also, we have specific homes that will be dedicated to seniors, to people living with a handicap, to women who are facing domestic violence.
Advocate Catherine Lussier from housing rights group FRAPRU applauds the funding but emphasizes that the federal government should allocate more for social housing throughout Quebec.
It's definitely not enough for answering the most urgent need. Only in Quebec it's 173,000 tenants that are actually having hardcore needs, so they pay too expensive. They live in a apartment that is not decent or too small for their families. So obviously we have way much more need than this this announcement is going to found.
As far as what's considered affordable housing, Lussier adds that renters should not be paying more than 30% of their income for rent. And based on the latest Statistics Canada census, more than 370,000 tenants in Quebec with an average annual income of $23,800 pay more than 30% of their income for rent.
We need the federal government, as the Quebec government, to focus most of the public funding towards social housing, and that's because that's where the crisis hits the most, is to those that are more vulnerable, which is the low income and the modest income tenants, and those are necessary to be able to answer to the crisis.
In Montreal, Gareth Madoc-Jones, City News.